Valentine's Day, a saint's day or a celebration of love? The untold story behind February 14th, the dark truth behind Valentine's Day. Every year on February 14th, millions of people celebrate love, exchanging flowers, chocolates, and heartfelt messages. But what if I told you that Valentine's Day isn't just about romance? That behind the red roses and candlelit dinners lies a story of sacrifice, persecution, and a saint who risked his life for love. Not the kind you think. Why do we truly celebrate Valentine's Day? And how did a tragic tale of faith and defiance turn into the most romantic holiday of the year? Stay with me till the end, because what you learn today might change the way you see February 14th forever. Valentine's Day is one of the most celebrated holidays in the world. From New York to Paris, from Tokyo to Dubai, couples exchange gifts and promises of love. But how did it all start? Was Valentine's Day always about love? The truth is far from fairy tales. This day was originally about a man who defied an emperor, stood up for true love, and paid the ultimate price. Today, we're diving deep into the real history behind Valentine's Day, its origins, its transformation, and why it still holds meaning beyond romantic gestures. The man behind the name, who was Saint Valentine? Before chocolates and greeting cards, there was a man named Valentine. But who was he? History tells us that during the 3rd century, Rome was under the rule of Emperor Claudius II. The emperor had one goal: to build the strongest army possible. He believed that single men made better soldiers, so he banned young men from getting married. Love was outlawed. But one man defied this cruel law. A Christian priest named Valentine secretly performed weddings for soldiers and their lovers, believing that love was sacred. When Claudius found out, he was furious. Valentine was arrested, imprisoned, and eventually sentenced to death. While in prison, legend says he fell in love with the jailer's daughter and wrote her a farewell letter signed, "From your Valentine." On February 14th, 269 AD, Valentine was executed. His act of defiance, his belief in love, and his ultimate sacrifice were never forgotten. But how did his death turn into a global celebration of romance? The transformation, from martyrdom to romance. For centuries, Valentine's legacy remained a religious memory. But in the Middle Ages, a fascinating shift occurred. February 14th became associated with romance. Why? Because people in medieval Europe believed that birds chose their mates in mid-February, a sign of love blossoming in nature. Poets like Geoffrey Chaucer in the 1300s began writing about Valentine's Day as a day for lovers. By the 18th century, Valentine's Day was no longer about a martyr. It was about love letters, poetry, and courtship. Handwritten notes expressing deep emotions became the norm. And then came the Victorian era, where mass-produced Valentine's cards made the holiday explode. But here's where it gets interesting. How did corporations turn this ancient story into a multi-billion-dollar industry? The commercialization of love. The 19th and 20th centuries saw the rise of Valentine's Day as a consumer holiday. Companies like Hallmark, founded in 1910, began mass-producing Valentine's Day cards. Soon, chocolates, flowers, and extravagant gifts became expectations rather than genuine expressions of love. By the late 20th century, Valentine's Day was no longer just about handwritten notes. It was a global business. Today, billions of dollars are spent annually on this holiday, making it one of the most profitable celebrations in the world. But has this commercialization ruined the true meaning of love? Or has it simply evolved to reflect modern relationships? The debate continues. Valentine's Day around the world. While most of the world celebrates Valentine's Day with chocolates and flowers, not every country sees February 14 the same way. In Japan, women give men chocolates, and men return the favor a month later on White Day. In South Korea, there's an extra twist. Single people celebrate Black Day by eating black noodles. In Denmark, people exchange pressed white flowers called snowdrops instead of roses. The meaning of Valentine's Day shifts depending on culture. For some, it's a day of love. For others, it's a business. But for many, it's a painful reminder of loneliness and lost love. So, how should we truly celebrate this day? Finding meaning beyond romance. While Valentine's Day is often focused on couples, love is more than just romance. It's about friendship, family, self-love, and kindness to others. Maybe instead of feeling pressured to buy expensive gifts, we should return to the original purpose of love: a commitment, a sacrifice, a deep connection. Valentine himself wasn't celebrating candlelight dinners. He was fighting for love as a sacred and unbreakable bond. Love should never be about obligation. It should be about genuine care, respect, and appreciation. If you've ever felt alone on Valentine's Day, remember this: love is not just for couples. It's for anyone who has ever cared, sacrificed, or stood by someone in their hardest times. So, what have we learned? Valentine's Day isn't just about romance. It's about a man who fought for love, a history shaped by poetry, and a celebration that has changed over time. Maybe next time you see a Valentine's card, you'll remember the real story behind February 14, a story of courage, sacrifice, and a love that went beyond personal gain. Now I want to hear from you. What does Valentine's Day mean to you? Do you think it has lost its true meaning? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to check out our other videos on history, faith, and the stories behind the traditions we celebrate today. And most importantly, this Valentine's Day, whether you're single or in love, remember, love is much more than a holiday. It's how we choose to treat each other every single day.